All right, welcome to Instagram Live. My name is Rod Stanley, back with you today, and I didn't even put my mic on. I'm back with you today. Today is a exciting topic: how to get consistent gains. We'll give it a minute or so, let a few people come in. See if I can get this mic going as well. Hopefully, get some people to join in. What's going on, Ann? Giovanni, what's going on? Welcome. Giovanni, where are you from? Oh, yeah, you're not late, and you're right on time. I just actually just jumped on, and I'm playing around here. I didn't even have this mic on. Yeah, so today we're gonna be talking about ways to consistently get gains, and everybody wants gains. Everybody wants gains. That's why we're in this business of working out in the first place. So we're going to talk about some gains. If I can get this mic going. Yep. There we go. Hi, you're from Jefferson. All right. Cool. Well, welcome. Glad to have you. We're going to be talking about how to get consistent gains. If you have any questions as well about your workouts, how to get some gains, I'll be more than happy to ask those. So feel free to drop those in the comment section as we move along. So it doesn't matter if you're a beginner at working out or if you're a seasoned veteran. These two principles that we're going to discuss today are going to be beneficial for you because it's going to help you get consistent gains. It's going to also help you improve your strength, stamina, no matter what it is. So it might even revolutionize your workout. So the first one is called the principle of overload, and the second principle is called the SAID principle, SAID. So these can be used to help you overcome plateaus and achieve all your fitness goals. I use them with all of my clients every day, and even my own personal workouts. I'm sure my clients have no idea that I'm thinking of these types of concepts, but this is what it really takes to push yourself to the next level. So if you've watched some of my Instagram lives the past few weeks where, my guy Mike and I have been working out, you'll see that we're pushing really hard. And that's because we're taking advantage of that principle of overload. So just scientifically speaking, we'll say what the principle of overload is. I'm going to read a definition here for you. In scientific terms, the principle of overload is based on the idea that to improve your muscle strength, endurance, or size, your body needs to experience a load or stress that is greater than it's accustomed to. This is similar to how muscles grow, and by preparing yourself to be stronger after being stressed by higher demands. So, simply put, what it's saying is that you have to push yourself beyond your current limitations to get your body to adapt. So, if you can imagine your muscles being like a rubber band, if you stretch it a little bit, and it's going to go back to its original shape. Think of that as how you build strength. If you only push yourself a little bit, you're going to go back to your original strength. But if you keep stretching a little bit beyond what you're capable of, now that rubber band is going to hold that new space, and it's going to be a little bit more flexible, a little longer. And this doesn't even just apply to heavy weights. So it could also be with endurance exercise as well. So let's say you're a sprinter and you want to get faster with sprinting. You're going to apply the principle of overload to push yourself beyond your current limitations. And this could be things like running hills. So if you're a sprinter and you're accustomed to running on flat ground, the principle of overload could be as simple as starting to run hills. This is going to force your body to work harder and force you to get stronger. So if you're just a normal jogger as well, you can apply this as your speed. So if you're accustomed to going the speed of 3 miles per hour, what you're going to simply do is go 3.2, 3.5 until you're able to get your body to adapt to a higher speed. And this is important to think about when it comes to any type of weight training goal. You want to think of pushing yourself beyond the limits. And oftentimes, my clients and I will be working out, and they'll mention to me, they see people in the gym who look like they're just standing around and they're not challenging themselves. And that's oftentimes, a lot of times, why people don't get some of the results they're looking for. They're just not challenging themselves hard enough, and not pushing themselves hard enough. So now that you understand that principle of overload, you can start to apply that to your own workouts and challenge yourself. So another real life example is if you're able to lift 20 pounds on a bicep curl, you're going to go to 22 and a half. And it's a really simple concept to understand, that you always have to be pushing. And a lot of my clients, they'll ask me when we're training, after we've been 2 or 3 months in, and they're still wondering, why is it so hard? Because they say, I thought it was going to get easier after 2 or 3 months in. But the reality is it never really gets easier, only because you're pushing yourself further and further and further so that you can continuously get those results you're looking for. And that's what it takes to get to the next level. So, and let's talk a little bit about the SAID principle, and then we'll tie these two together because they're very closely related to each other. So the SAID principle is an acronym, and again, that principle is SAID, and it stands for Specific Adaptation to the Imposed Demand. So this principle is all about how your body will specifically adapt to whatever type of exercise you do. So if you're training for strength, your body's going to adapt to get stronger as long as you have the right protocol for it. If you training for endurance or cycling, your body's just going to adapt to it. What's going on, Matt? Welcome, man. We're talking about how to get those consistent gains. Talk the SAID principle and the principle of overload. We're just jumping into the second one here. The SAID principle will allow you to tailor your fitness routine to be as effective as you can and try to mimic whatever it is you want to be great at. So let's say you're a football player and you want to be more powerful, you're going to do more explosive type of movements so that you can be more explosive on the field. And your body's going to adapt to that specifically. And if you're a basketball player, you might be focusing on things like vertical jumps, short sprints, and so that your body can adapt to whatever demand is going to be placed on it during your sporting event. So you always want to make sure that your training matches what it is you want to be prepared for. So I think I mentioned to you guys before, I'm a corrective exercise specialist, and a lot of the people that I do train, they're looking to improve just for daily function. So if you're someone who's 40 to 60 years old, maybe your athletic days are over, but you still want to be great at doing yard work. You want to be great at, just going up the stairs, getting up and under things, getting up and over things. So you want to have some training that really mimics that. So this is the SAID principle kind of gets us into the realm of more functional training and making sure that you can do whatever type of demand that your body needs to perform at its best doing your daily activities. So an example of this is I have a client who does a lot of work underneath his cars, and he tells me that he wants to be able to continue to get underneath the cars so he can work on the cars that he collects and be able to not be stuck on the ground when he gets down there. He had no problem getting on the floor, but it was how can he get off the floor safely. So now using your creativity, you can come up with an exercise, or I did in this case, what allowed him to be able to get off the floor. So we took a weight belt, which a heavy weighted belt where you could tie weights onto it, and I put a rubber band up to the ceiling and tied it to his waist so he can practice getting up by taking some of his body weight off. So these type of functional movements is going to take advantage of that SAID principle. So always finding things that mimic what you do. So if you can combine that along with the principle of overload, now you can really get somewhere in terms of improving your fitness level, improving your functionality for your sport, as well as just your daily activity. So as an example of this, like for my client who wanted to be able to get better at getting off the floor, we started first with a load that he could handle, and we found a very specific thing that he could do, in this case, getting up off the floor using the belt. And as he progresses, we take the band off, so that he's progressing to start to use his full body weight. So that takes advantage of using the specific thing that he wants to be great at, as well as using the principle of overload. So now he's challenging himself to get stronger at doing that specific event. So as long as you have those two concepts in mind, you're going to always be able to improve no matter what your goal is. So if it's more functionality, if your goal is more strength oriented, that's going to be great for you also. So What if you guys have any questions about the principle of overload and how you can apply it to your own specific workouts? Just feel free to drop those questions in the comment, and I'll get those answered for you. If not, if there's no questions, I just want to remind you guys why I'm here. This same client I'm telling you about here, I'll tell you a little story about him the other day that he told me in regards to his workout. What is your view on switching up your workout every 3 months? All right, yeah, I'll get back to that story on Tim in a bit. So changing your workout every 3 months. I think it's great to switch things around because you can get what's overuse injuries for doing the same thing over and over. So this is why they'll say that some athletes should cross-train and do other sports sometimes, because you get the effect of not using the same muscles in the same manner all the time. Excuse me. So the reason why that's important to switch your workouts up a little bit is you think of using the same muscles in the same manner all the time, that can lead to overuse injuries. So even if something as simple as sitting down in the same position, that's utilizing or putting the same muscles in the same position all the time. And we know how that can lead to dysfunction, just being in that same pattern. So even working out or doing the same movements all the time could also lead to that. So switching your workouts is great. Even switching exercises or routines within workouts. So what I like to do you think your body gets used to the same? It does get used to the same exercise, and it gets more efficient at doing the same thing the more you do it. So an example of that is like a real world example. Have you guys ever seen construction workers with the big, with the beer bellies and things like that? And we know these type of people are very active. They're doing a lot of exercise, lifting, bending, squatting, but yet they continue to get, the bigger bellies and things. And the reason is because your body becomes more efficient at doing the same thing over and over, which means it's going to require less energy output. It's going to burn less calories. So your body will adapt to whatever it is you're doing, even if it's, just construction work. The body's super smart and super efficient in that way. And it's really a mechanism that we have to conserve energy over time. So that's why varying your workouts in terms of what the exercise is and in terms of the intensity that you go at the exercise. You can also change rest periods between exercises. You can also change the tempo and speed in which you do an exercise. All of these things are called the acute variables. And, as trainers, we use those to our advantage to change workouts. But you definitely want to make sure you're varying things up so your body doesn't adapt, and you can always further get a little bit better and a little bit better. Another thing I do and with my clients is when you really understand the body and you know that, for example, you want to push something, your body uses certain muscles to push. It's going to be the pectoralis major, the anterior deltoids, triceps, of course stabilizers. So it uses those muscles to push. So as long as we're working pushing, so sometimes I might push vertically, sometimes I'm horizontally, and maybe one workout of pushing is pushing vertically. The second workout of the week for pushing is pushing horizontally. And that's another way to switch things up as well. So if you think of workouts as movements, so you got push movements, you have pull movements, and you can vary up the push and pull movements to get a more well-rounded approach as well, rather than just thinking about working the chest or just working the shoulders. And this is how I think of it when I'm working with my clients. And it allows me to be able to vary things up a little bit more when I think about pushing versus working the chest. And that gets a little bit more into functional movement and things like that. So hopefully that answers your question. Probably a little bit more detail than you wanted about that. So what about cardio in between sets? I think that's great. That's something I used to do with my clients a lot. Cardio in between sets. And the thing is with that, you're going to be burning more calories. It's going to keep your heart rate up. It's also going to allow you to take advantage of something that's called peripheral heart action. So let's say, for example, I'm doing squats. My heart is really pumping hard to pump blood down to the legs. And then I go and do something that's using the upper body. Now the heart is pumping blood to the upper body, and now I go do cardio or something, running, maybe it's jumping jacks or something, some type of calisthenic, or maybe even on a treadmill. This is causing the heart to have to do a lot of different things and pump blood throughout all the different peripheries of the body. So it's going to really be great for improving the heart's efficiency and everything. So doing cardio in between sets is actually really good. There's so many different ways you can do workouts. That's why I really like the concept of movement and exercise rather than working out, because there's so many different types of movements we can do that are all beneficial, and I think you should have a little bit of all of them. Cool. So I'm glad I answered your question, Ann. Looks like it might be just me and you on here, which is all good. So my guy, what was his name? Matthew. Maybe he jumped off. Cool. So lastly, I was going to tell you a little story about a client of mine, Tim, before I get out of here. And it just reminded me of why I continue to do what I do. Tim is a good client of mine. We've been training together for about a year and a half or so. And he mentioned to me that he had been using this stuff called arnica oil on his shoulder for the better part of a year. His shoulder was aching him every night. He'd go to bed with that arnica oil just to make himself feel better and so he can get a good night's sleep. And he said he never really thought about it. It was just his routine. Whenever he felt the pain, he just grabbed the oil out of the cabinet and then throw it on the shoulder. So Tim had a bunch of things going on with his shoulder. No rotator cuffs. One of his shoulders, he had difficulty getting his arm up to here. And so we've been working, like I said, over a year, working on strengthening all the stabilizers around the shoulder, strengthening, the pec, the shoulder with the limited range of motion that we have. A lot of times I'm even assisting him to get through some of the movements. And he told me last week that it had been just over a month before he used that arnica oil on his shoulder. And as I said, he doesn't really, it was just part of his routine. When he felt the pain, he'd put it on. And he had not been feeling the pain. And all of a sudden, he just thought, like, man, I haven't used this in a month. So now we're going on 2 months, and he hasn't used this on his shoulder. So it's those type of things, as well as the body composition changes with my clients, that keep me going. And that's what it's all about. So if you know someone who's looking to get in shape this year and get started on a fitness regimen, that's what I'm here for. And I know that first step can also be really challenging for a lot of people. And as a trainer, that's what I do, is get people into the fitness lifestyle, make it a little bit easier for them so that it becomes enjoyable and a part of their own daily ritual. I can't tell you how many people I've trained over the years who've went on to sometimes become trainers, inspire other people to get more fit. And it's just about that. I'm passing on the things that I've learned through my experience and through my experience with my clients, in the hopes that it inspires someone to take action on achieving great results for themselves this year. So we got a lot of things going this year. I started the Fantastic Five Fitness Challenge, and that's just encouraging those people who are looking to get started in an easy way. Well, none of it's really easy, but in a more palatable way, so that you don't get derailed after a weekend. And it's been going really great. A lot of clients are really developing new habits, so that's fantastic. What else is coming up? For those of you who are in Salem, Oregon, this June 1st, we're still doing the Staiku event at Alternative Health Center. Love to have you guys there, and where we'll be monitoring body composition. We're also going to be looking at the Beamer technology, which is designed to help with inflammation and help the body move better. And it's a pretty new technology, but it's really exciting. So we'll be debuting that there as well. So hope to see some of you guys there. And if you don't have any more questions about your fitness goals or anything like that, I think we'll call it here. Thanks for always supporting, and I appreciate you being here each and every week. And we gotta find a way to get this thing growing and get more people on. I'm looking to move the Instagram Live onto YouTube so I can be a little bit more dynamic and bring more guests on. So and talk to people on live. So that is my plan for this year with Ritual Health and Fitness, to bring on some guests and talk to them about fitness so that we can talk about all the new and exciting things that is happening in the health and fitness industry. A lot of great technology out there that can really help a lot of people. Hi, Lance Donnelly. What's going on? Welcome. We're just about to wrap up. We were talking about how to get consistent gains through using the principle of overload and the SAID principle. Again, that principle of overload, just to wrap up before we leave, is all about your body having to constantly be under new stress so that it can adapt. So whether that's heavier weights, whether it's lifting the weights faster, whether it's running a little bit faster than you did before, sometimes running up hills, if you're a sprinter, can give you that principle of overload so that it forces your body to adapt to get to a high level. And the last concept we talked about was the SAID principle. And that's specific adaptation to imposed demand. So whatever imposed demand your body needs, your body will adapt to that very specifically. And that's important to know those two things to help you consistently get gains in your workouts and improve. So feel free, Lance, to drop any questions or comments in the messages in regards to your fitness program, or please like and share the video as well. If you think this information is helpful, pass it along to someone else who could use it and or who may be struggling with why they're stuck or stagnant with their workouts. Hopefully this information will help them get out of a plateau. And remember to keep that top of mind. Those two principles whenever you're in the gym. Always challenge yourself to get to that next level. If you're looking to be more functional, be creative, come up with movements that mimic what you want to do, and then just get better. So as always, thanks for being here. And the motto of Ritual Health and Fitness is to move, inspire, and transform. So get out there and move, get moving, inspire someone else, and transform lives. Have a great day. Talk to you guys soon.